It's a very early start for me today, up naturally before the world in general starts to stir. Made a flask, loaded the car, and I'm on this Staffordshire Worcestershire Canal. I'm fishing the boat channel. I put some brown crumb and maggots out, also some prawns as well. So depending on how it goes, if I start to get into the perch, I'm going to switch to prawns. So a good test initially to see what's out there fishing maggot, but ultimately that's what I want to do. I want to switch bait. Let's see how it goes. Whatever happens today, I will not be a blanker. A small gudgeon on single maggot. I'll have maybe another cast, another fish, and then I'll switch to prawn. It's a perch, a very small one. I think though it could be time to put a prawn on the hook. As I often say, I list the tackle in the blog entry that this video will be part of, but I do want to mention the little anchor shot. I am some distance away from the lock, but nevertheless there is some movement of water, so the small 0.6 gram float that I've got would be washed along. In fact it is, because I'm fishing a little bit over depth and the float goes along, but then it stops because I've got that anchor shot. It's only size 8, but it's enough to hold the bait on the bottom. Right, let's get a prawn on. I've got a size 14 hook at the moment, single maggot I've been using up till now. I'm going to put a section of prawn on, and then we'll see how the rest of this short morning session develops. I've had a few dips on the float with the prawn. No fish on the bank though. I switched to maggot immediately. I caught this perch. I think I'll alternate just to get an idea of what's going on out there. I'm being plagued by a pair of mallard ducklings. They're very young and they keep attacking the bait when it goes in, trying to get it before it sinks. The float, the line, everything. They're so naive that when I wave my hands to try to scare them away, they think I'm throwing food to them and they come even closer. However, I just caught my first perch on the prawn this morning. That's in the net. It's not big, but I'm going to show you that in a moment or two. Here it is. As I say, not a big fish, but it's always very welcome, and it's nice to catch on something different as well, isn't it? I was talking about the duckling. Well, this one took a prawn on the drop. There's no harm done. It's going back safely, but hopefully it will learn its lesson. The young mallards have learnt the lesson. They've gone now. Back to catching fish on prawns though, and this time it's a skimmer, a small bream. That's very interesting because another 2 young mallards have just come into the area that I'm fishing. This time though, the mother was with them, and as they came to the float, the mother was just a little bit beyond. She called them back and they went. The 2 that were here previously, running wild as it were, no parental influence. I think there's a lesson there for us, isn't there, as human beings. The bream certainly like prawns. I'm catching more of these than I am perch. Not that I'm complaining, of course.